Hi, I'm David Flores. Today, my good friends at B&H let me try out the new Canon EOS M5 digital mirrorless camera. Now, this is Canon's first mirrorless camera to feature an integrated electronic viewfinder, Dual Pixel CMOS AF, and Canon's brand new DIGIC 7 image processor. Now, the first thing you notice about the camera is its responsiveness. It's really fast, like from the controls to the refresh rate in the finder. It really feels like a very refined, very premium mirrorless camera. And we got to try out some of the new features on a variety of photo shoots today. I had my daughters working on an art project, and we got to try out the brand new touch drag focus system. Essentially, this lets you choose the AF point in the electronic finder by using your thumb on the rear LCD screen. You just touch and drag anywhere on the frame and you can find the AF point. It's really convenient. Using the rear LCD screen, you can also do touch shutter. And that was really helpful, especially when we were doing some overhead shots of the girls working on the project. One of the best things I think about it is the DIGIC 7 image processor really had an emphasis, and I could see this through the finder, emphasis on accurate color. And the high ISO performance was fantastic. We were shooting at higher ISOs for the majority of the shoot. It was just in natural light. And we didn't have a single problem like getting to a passable shutter speed to chase around a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old today. It was great. It's also an excellent camera for portraiture. There's enough magnification in the viewfinder where you really feel like you can see what's going on. So I didn't have a problem like directing my daughter Selly in a photo shoot. We tried a couple of different lenses. You know, a lot of folks with portraiture, they want to create a shallow depth of field, and most of the time you'll try that using a larger aperture lens. We used Canon's 22mm f2.0 pancake, and that was great, you know, for creating that shallow depth of field. But sometimes in portraiture, you don't just want to use a large aperture, you want to compress foreground and background. And that requires a longer focal length. So we used the 55 to 200mm EFM lens. It focused extremely quickly. It was great at compressing foreground and background. It really made Selly jump off of the background. The thing that I want out of a camera if I'm making a portrait is it needs to be responsive. And if you're going to use an electronic viewfinder, it has to be able to keep up in real time with what you're looking at, what your subject is. A portrait is really about finding a decisive moment to show a person. So having that DIGIC 7 image processor push the refresh rate and also drive the autofocus speed so fast, it really helped me make the picture that I wanted to make today. You know, when you're shooting still life and you're doing a macro shot, I think getting close, that always seems to be like the high order bid, the thing that you want to do. You don't always have to do that with a macro lens. You know, one of the things that I like to do for still life, or if I'm going in to make a tighter shot of something, is use a wide angle. Canon has a fantastic 11 to 22mm STM that focuses very close, and you can fit more in your composition using that wide angle. So you're not isolating just one subject, you can actually see several things. We pushed in with that using the touch focus on the back of the camera. Again, highly accurate, very fast. So for the super close-up shots that we made, we used the 28mm macro EFM lens. I love this thing. On the tripod, you can focus in closer than 4 inches, which is fantastic. And using the LED lights that we had around for the setup, it was great when we were further back, but moving in that close, the camera and the lens actually wind up blocking light to the subject. Well, Canon came up with a great solution for this. There's a built-in LED ring light in the center of the lens. So when you're focused down even closer than 4 inches, you can illuminate your subject. You know, if you're an Instagram user, you've probably thrown a filter over one of your cell phone photos before. And there's a lot of those things that are baked right into the EOS M5. You have a grainy black and white filter, soft focus, a fisheye, art bold, watercolor, toy camera, miniature effect, and HDR. I'm the kind of person that doesn't really use a lot of the in-camera filters, but the art bold setting in the creative filters, it really stood out to me. It's a very assertive filter in terms of its contrast and color. The image is really punchy. It really jumps out at you. If you're a video shooter, you can take advantage of the digital stabilization built into the Canon EOS M5. Now, any EFM lens that you attach to the body, you'll benefit from this. But if you're using the brand new 15 to 45mm lens or the 18 to 150mm lens, you'll have the dual benefit of optical image stabilization in the glass and digital stabilization in the body. That makes your video so much smoother. And that new 18 to 150mm lens, it's amazing. It's super lightweight. If you're a travel photographer, you just want to have the maximum range with you at all times, put that lens on, you never have to take it off. If you're shooting a wide landscape, or if you're zooming in for a tight detail shot, you can do it all with one lens. It's extremely fast in terms of its focus, and the optical image stabilization in the lens really helps correct for camera shake. Canon's also releasing the Mark II version of its popular 70 to 300mm IS lens. Now this is driven by a brand new Nano USM motor, which gives you the benefits of high-speed USM for still photos and smooth, silent autofocus for video. On top of the lens, there's a small LCD that gives you a distance focusing scale, which is great if you're trying to manually focus a long shot in video. There's also a conversion scale on there, so if you're using the lens on an APS-C size sensor, it gives you the conversion of the focal length using that smaller sensor. And there's another cool display that actually shows how much shake your hand is applying to the camera when you're holding it. For photographers that want to connect the camera to their smart devices, there's built-in Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth for pairing. I had a great time using the Canon EOS M5 today. The refresh rate of the viewfinder, the autofocus speed, just the general responsiveness of the camera is the thing that impressed me the most, and I'm really looking forward to shooting more with it. I'm David Flores. Thanks for watching.